Thank you so much for listening to Urbanistica podcast. I am Mustafa Sharif, an urban planner, and you're more than welcome to join my big journey of exploring the making of smarter and more livable cities. Don't forget to follow Instagram account to see the stories behind the scenes, and also subscribe the YouTube channel to see the live talks. Let's get in touch on LinkedIn, share your reflections with us with Urbanistica community. Recommend the podcast to people you think are interested in Urbanistica topics. Are you ready for a new episode? Let's go for it. So I have the pleasure to welcome Julia Åstrand to Urbanistica podcast. Hey, and welcome, Julia.
Hi, thank you.
How are you doing?
Great. It's been a great morning. I'm psyched.
Yeah, you took the train from Uppsala city to Stockholm.
Yeah, I did.
How was the journey?
I was sitting preparing for the podcast actually, and there was this teenage group of girls sitting right next to me. And they were very loud and had a great morning, and I became a little bit irritated, you could say, since I was preparing and they were very loud. So I went into my own mood and tried to ignore them. But you know, when people talk, you can't help but try to like join in, although you're just listening. So.
Yeah.
It was an interesting morning, to say the least.
It's also part of the city life, you know.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it still. I'm not from Stockholm, from Uppsala, so yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Okay, great. So we're gonna talk about you're a kitchen planner, and this is very interesting. So it's gonna be a really interesting episode.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear more about you. You are our storyteller. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your passion.
Yeah. So, as I said, I'm from Uppsala, the fourth biggest town in Sweden, a student city. It's a very fun city to be in and have been grown up in because it's very like fluctuating. It's sometimes it's dead and sometimes it's very much alive, and it has this different periods of time. So I love that city, and I probably will stay there and just keep on commuting to Stockholm to work. My passion has been, I think, since I was small, space in a way and things in it, to move them around and just see something being created, to see something going from nothing to being something. I think it's the most fun thing in the world, no matter what kind of area it is in. I have been since I was very small, like moving objects around in my room. I think I moved my wardrobe the first time when I was like 8, something like that, and I've redecorated my room more times than my neighbors or my parents really liked. Yeah.
So you were a planner from the beginning.
I have been a planner and mover arounder from the beginning. Yeah.
And tell me, because the reason how we met, that you're doing an internship here. Tell us more about your educational background and the company that you're doing your internship at.
I have been studying to become a landscape architect for the past 4 years, and I am actually about done with it now. And I am right now at Landskapslaget, a architect bureau where I do my internship. Yeah, it's very fun. I'm about a month in right now, and I have learned a lot, doing all kinds of stuff, learning about the process of a project starting up and ending, and being small and being large scaled, and it's so much fun. I love it so far.
very interesting month.
It's been a very interesting month. I have felt quite new at work. It's always fun to don't know where the coffee machine is and the coughing and so on. But I think I got a hang of it now.
Yeah, but at least you know where is the podcast room or the studio is.
Yeah, I've seen you hearing a lot.
Yeah. You're working as a kitchen planner in IKEA. Tell us about the background and why you wanted, or why you're working there. What's your why?
Why? So I just found it when I actually was doing a countertop for my apartment. So I found a job there, and I thought it looked so much fun. It goes right in the line where I've always been, and just moving things around and creating, and I just love the process. So that's how I found it. When I applied for the job, I felt from the start that it was a match. I've always been a dancer as well, so people for me are the main thing behind these moving around stuff. And when you meet a person during a kitchen planning visit, you really get to the hang and the feel of the person, and you create the kitchen from that point on, and just make it personal towards every single customer, and that's the fun part about it.
So it's really interesting story. You're a landscape architect student, and I assume that you're not having the enough knowledge about designing a kitchen or planning a kitchen. So how is it?
You mean how I learned it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't have any experience when I started working at it. I've always been an aesthetic kind of person, so I think that's why I got the job, and I can talk quite a lot. But when I started, I went to this 2 weeks education at the company IKEA where I started, and there I got to learn all the regulations and rules, and how you work with different appliances, and what kind of distances you have to put in between to make a functional kitchen and a workable kitchen where you feel at home and at ease when you are cooking. We also had to learn different coloring and different materials and so on, how different looks could work together, and different like categorizations of looks and designs, modern and more farmish or kitschy or everything. It was very fun, and actually you have learned a lot as you have worked, and much you have the most part you have learned from the actual work, and just being interested by yourself, and learning from your friends and family who do their own kitchen, where you can't get away from it, and you just want to point things out and try to help as many people as possible.
Well, that's awesome. So you went to a 2 weeks course of learning how the kitchen functions, color, materials, and then you started the actual job.
Yeah, exactly. And then you were thrown out into deep hole when you knew very little about building and constructional things, which I actually know now, but in the beginning it was very hard because the customers often knew more than you did, since they had read very much about it. So that's another fun part about the job. You know very much about the construction part of the inside job, how you place everything and how you actually build it.
Wow, very interesting. So now tell me, how would you do that? Tell me about the process, like from the first time you meet the client to the end, and even after the project is done. But tell me in details. I'm really curious about this.
Yeah. Yeah, so it starts by people just booking an appointment. Now during Corona, it has been during online as well as in person. But you meet up with them, and sit down by a computer with the design program. And then it usually starts with me asking them what their dream kitchen would look like and what it will entail, and if they could do anything, what would they do, and so on. And then obviously they have a room to fit all these dreams in, so I have to manage it in a very small space usually. So we have to talk about the practical stuff, like where the drain is, because you very seldom move it since it becomes very expensive to do. And where the extractor is put, and so on.
Do you get a lot of questions that people have very small space, but they want so many
dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Every time. Yeah. It's very fun during this fall, actually, because in Uppsala, as I said, there are very many students, and they live in a very small cramped space. That's usually the most fun kitchens actually to plan, because they're impossible to do. And when something is being impossible to do, you have to create a solution that it's not like conventional or ordinary, and it usually becomes the most interesting solution, and something unique, and something that's very personal for them, because you have to cut so much away that they don't fit. It's the most fun part.
Yeah. So you meet people for the first time in the appointment. You ask them about how they would love to have their dream kitchen, and you check the area, and what's happening after that.
After that, I start like throwing cabinets in and just building a basic model, trying different solutions and giving them a lot of options in the first appointment. You usually meet the customer about 3 times, I'd say. So the first appointment is just making a basic model and giving them a lot to choose from, and then just extract models that are unuseful or bad in different ways. After you have like come together and they're happy with a model or 2 models, you move forward by looking at the actual look of the kitchen.
Okay.
The coloring and the materials and the knobs and everything that makes the feel of the kitchen.
Yeah, because in the beginning, when you mentioned the model, it's just 3D, right?
It's 3D, yeah.
Do you have all the, what do you call it, component in IKEA as a 3D model?
Yeah, most of it. We have very much build up, and we show everything that it's that's possible to buy. So we usually take like appliances and doors round. I should usually say, and we get to feel everything.
Yeah. So you have a library, and you drop in the things that might match with what they were dreaming about. Yeah, and then the next phase is like the details, right?
Yeah. When you have when this kitchen looks completed, it usually is the biggest part left to make it functional. Then you open up every single drawer, every single door, and just place things in. I usually ask the customer what kind of use they want to have for the kitchen. Do they cook a lot? What do they cook? How often? How many are there? They in their family? What kind of stuff do they own? What kind of stuff do they want to throw out? Now they have the possibility to do so. I always recommend to get rid of some things because usually you don't use everything you got or own. And then we just find a place for everything to be able to, when you actually are you going to use the kitchen later on, just have everything in handy and easily reached. And yeah, it's one of the most important parts.
Yeah. And how long is the time in between each meeting?
That's up to the customer, I'd say. Sometimes they have very little time because they already have like hired the constructors, so they have a week. Sometimes it takes half a year for some people who want like the time to process things. I would place myself somewhere in between, maybe. Maybe have like 2 weeks, 3 weeks in between every appointment to be able to let everything like land for you. And
because it's a journey of planning from dreams to make it real. And now when you're telling like there's 1 week or there half year, how do you keep this relation or to the project, to the people? Do you forget about the people?
No, I'm perfect. No, I'm sad to say that sometimes I do forget the faces. I meet quite a few people every appointment, about 5 meetings every day. So it's easily to forget people who come around 4 months later. But I believe that every time I see their drawing again, I do remember for some reason, because usually during the appointments you look quite a lot into the screen, of course, since you're planning towards the screen and talking to the people mostly. And when you see the drawing again, you usually remember all the things you have talked about because it's regards to something that exists.
Yeah. And I think because you also, as a landscape architect, you work a lot with the maps.
Yeah.
So maybe maps or drawings are your first, what do you call it?
Way of seeing things, remembering things. A visual kind of memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you see the map, you just remember about the people and their story, and then you're already like into it again.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you remember personal stuff about them that they have talked about as well. It's crazy. I don't know how that works.
I believe you talk a lot, not you, but as the client, talk a lot about their personal life, not only about the kitchen, I imagine.
No, personal life. I ask a lot as well, because I think to be able to make something personal for them and something that they would enjoy, and not just a regular, what do you say, IKEA kitchen, you have to know much about them and how they live their lives and how they are. So yeah, you learn a lot about each single customer, and sometimes it becomes very private and yeah, I won't go into that.
Tell me, you don't need to take up statistics, but tell me like what are the ages, the genders that usually you see?
It's every single age, every single culture, everything. I even see sometimes older or middle-aged people, and the teenagers are with them on the appointment, and they're actually the teenagers who are deciding what the kitchen will look like. But that's up to them. Maybe they have their life like that. So it's fun to see so many people, and they have different opinions and different ways of using their kitchens. I love it. This weekend I worked, and I had these about 60 to 70 years old who built a kitchen for their summer house, and they were so proud because they would build it on their own.
Wow.
So they were very proud and put very much love into it, and wanted to do a lot of like own made solutions, and
that's very awesome. But you're focusing a lot of design or plan your personal kitchen. At the same time, we know that IKEA is manufacturing things. So what is your reflection? How can we make manufacture things be personal?
maybe I can't say it, but usually when things don't go together, you can actually remake the manufactured product or combine the manufactured product into a new thing. It's sad, but they like warranties don't fall through then, but it becomes so much fun. And we have this thing that you can buy actually, that is like long wooden boards that it's the same color as the drawers and so on. And with those you can do so much things. You can build your own. You could build your own table with it. You can build your own drawers. You can build a wine rack. Anything you'd like. So you're very flexible with those pieces. Use them and create and pick out some of the regular stuff like some cabinets and so on, and use that instead to make your own personalized module.
Yeah.
Right?
So by putting things together, the manufactured things together, you can create your own uniqueness.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And also we talked now in your last answer when I asked about the people. You told me from different cultures, groups as well. And now in talking from my side, urban planning, recently we have seen many projects that about integration and putting people together by using a common kitchen or community kitchen. That, for instance, like in newcomers to Sweden with the Swedish people, or old people with young people, and you name it. Just like have a reason to meet and the space together. So what is your reflection? Do you really believe that a community kitchen can bring people together and as how we think?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. It's a very fun idea, at least. Yeah, I'd say the kitchen is like, as opposed to many people say, the center of the house or the living area. Many say the living room, but I think it's the kitchen because that's where the activity happens. And from my own experience, activity is the thing that usually builds relations and builds connections between people. Why not use the kitchen as like hotspot for those type of relation building meetings? I think you have to be smart about it though. It could easily be something that creates some kind of tension as well, if it's not well managed. So it has to be very functional, I think, to be able to work. You have to have not too much stuff in it, for starters. It has to be easily cleaned, easily used, and you have to make it in a way that actually are usable for the big scale of people. It has to be reachable. You have to have it several different appliances, so it won't be crammed. You have to really make it like a workplace type kitchen as opposed to a small house type of kitchen, I think.
It's very interesting how to say design element. So if you're gonna plan, because the thing that I want to understand how people going to exchange things. Is it because if everyone cooking, okay, of course they will talk meanwhile they cook, but we're talking more about the gathering, the meeting. Can the kitchen offer
meeting spots? Yeah.
Because when you talk about kitchen, you talk also about like tables and chairs and so on, right? You talk about a whole kitchen.
Whole room.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think so. The cultural thing, it disappears. So sort of when you do something, different personalities will come forward. If you have to, like, in a way, just be together, that this applies no matter what you do, I think. So when you're in the kitchen, say 2 different age groups meet in a kitchen, or several different people from different age group meets, their actual personality will come through, I think. And no matter if you're 8 years old or 3 years old, personality-wise, you could click. And I think this is the way to do it, and this is the way to bring these type of different people from different places together, because we're very much alike in the basis. It's from person to person, of course, but yeah, I think personality-wise, you could meet anyone and click to anyone.
Yeah. Do you think we can have the same concept outdoor in a public space, like the kitchen community, instead of having it indoor but not outdoor? What do you think?
Yeah, I think there are great examples for it already. I know in Australia, for example, they have these community like barbecue places in popular places, beach and in centers and so on, where they have this like long tables of several different like barbecue stations. And they're very popular and very well used to, because you stand next to someone else that you don't know, and it's almost awkward not to speak to them, right?
Yeah.
So you have to like integrate. I think you could use that and evolve it in any place in the world, actually. Maybe some kind of large kitchen island somewhere in a square that have different stations and different levels of heights, where you could actually sit if you're older, or stand above some place if you're younger and can't reach. And yeah, I think that would be a very popular place.
Yeah.
Maybe you have some type of like system next to it, like some grocery store, some hiring place, or for appliances and pots and pans and so on.
Yeah, because what I have in mind is almost as the same you mentioned with the barbecue, but like it's a formal kitchen, that you have a fridge, you have like a place to wash your dishes, you have a stove and so on. Outdoor.
Yeah, I think the cleaning part will be the biggest like issue, or the biggest so maybe the thing I mentioned about the hiring place, maybe we can have like system for that. So you have, I don't know, maybe it's done for older, but an app or something for that, so you actually can have your own space and know that you have it, so you don't come there and it's a problem. But I think you could do a full kitchen outdoors. Maybe not the electricity part in some ways, since it in Sweden will rain and snow in the winter. Something heats them up in that case. But yeah.
Interesting.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
I think it could be a very fun place and a very identifying sort of place. Yeah.
Could it be some project that you're gonna work with in the future after graduating, like combining kitchen planning and urban design and landscape architecture?
That would be the dream, right?
Yeah.
That would be the most fun project I could imagine. Yeah.
But then we should do a podcast as well.
Yeah, we must do that in this case. Yeah.
Awesome. So Julia, in Urbanistica podcast, we explore the smart city or a smart city. From your point of view, how do you define a smart city?
I define a smart city by change, or a city being adaptable for change and being better because of it, I guess. And a place where you like get around easily, where you use the space you got in the maximizing way. You use every space for what it is. Take every piece of it that's good and intensify it. So it's well used.
Yeah. And how do you make planning kitchen smarter? or kitchen in general smarter?
Kitchen in general smarter. Do it your own. You have to plan the kitchen from your own point of view. If you're short, don't put up top shelves. You can't reach them. Skip it. Do something you can do. Sort everything from start. Imagine that you don't own a single thing, and imagine instead what you would like to have in your kitchen. Don't take everything with you always just because you have it. Create everything from start, and then start to think about what do I have in my house, what do I have in my apartment that I want to integrate in my kitchen. That would make the best type of kitchen, I think, for you, and the smartest one, because you will be able to use it on your own and for your own purpose.
Yeah. And what do you see now? Do you see a lot of technology and application integrated with the kitchen?
Yeah. When you hear the word smart kitchen, right, you think about apps.
Yeah, exactly.
There are these video cameras in refrigerators now, so you can see what you have in it, and you can put on your oven when you're not even home, and there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what makes a smart kitchen, actually. I think you can do it a very more basic type of kitchen, and it would be just as useful.
So for you, the smart kitchen is the one where you feel comfortable and easy to cook, easy to socialize.
Easy to socialize, easy to use, easy to store things in it, and easy to overlook what you own and what you have, and that's a smart kitchen for me.
Very interesting reflections. And if you go back in time and you can change something related to planning and designing kitchen, what will you change?
I would change the regular wall cabinets, I think. Just making something more than a box. Try to reshape them so that they won't be the thing that defines the whole kitchen, maybe. To make it look something more flowy or something more smooth, and not something that's a lot of boxes and piled next to each other.
So is the shape that bothering you, like the boxes, the squares, or the...
I'm not so much bothered by it. I'm bothered by people being locked to the idea of what a kitchen is. People usually go into Pinterest before an appointment and have this picture with them, and this is what I like. But maybe they don't even know what they like. They have just seen something that they think looks good and think is a kitchen. But a kitchen could be something shaped entirely different than a regular kitchen is. And I think that would be very interesting to change, and I think that would be a great complement to what a kitchen are.
So we should think kitchen differently.
Throw out the boxes.
And if you go to the future and you will add something, you will change something, what will you add to the kitchen, to the future kitchen?
First thing, I would draw some things out to be able to, because kitchens are very full and stocked up, because you store very much in them. I would add a personal element, as I have said before. I would build something on my own. I think every single person should do this in their kitchen when they plan a kitchen. Build something you can't buy, and add it. It should be something you love, something that relates to you, and
Okay, so this is like your own touch, not Julia's touch from IKEA.
No. Maybe I would build something that you wouldn't like and no one else would like, but it would be my personal thing and it would be my space.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing.
Do you have, did you get this like during a meeting? People say, no, I don't like what you do.
I give them so many different options. So they usually said that about a lot of drawings, but we usually come up to some merge solution.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what are your hobbies apart from planning kitchens, drawing, working with landscape architecture?
Well, I've always been a dancer, so that's my big passion. Apart from the creating stuff, I have been a competitive dancer for many years, and so my hobby is to like compete and and train in competing and just get that high from when you do something with your body and get into your own head and just feel your pulse up and blank your mind sort of training thing.
Do you dance in your kitchen?
Of course. Of course. It's one of the largest spaces you have. I live in an apartment, so it's cramped.
What kind of dance you do?
When I competed in a branch called disco dancing, but I've danced about everything: classical ballet, jazz, modern dancing. I have gone on pole dance, oriental dancing, some salsa.
Wow.
A lot.
Yeah.
Street.
So a specific dance for the dinner, a specific dance when you cook for the lunch.
Not quite that way. I'm always dancing is a lot apart from just dance styles as well. It's free dancing I like.
Cool.
Just putting on a song and have your own moments.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again. I really enjoyed our conversation and I'm grateful for you giving your time to record this episode.
Yeah, it has been so much fun.
Thank you. So, how would you like to summarize our conversation, your reflections, and 3 takeaway messages to all the listeners?
3 missions. Make it personal. I've said it and said it again. Make it personal. Create something on your own and don't do what everyone else does.
Be unique.
Be unique.
Awesome. And the 3 hashtags for
3
the episode.
Hashtags. Take up space, move things around, and personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Julia.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much for listening to Urbanistica podcast season number 2. I hope you enjoyed the episode, learned something new and got inspired by the guest. And also please don't forget to share the episode with your friends, colleagues and people you think they are interested in Urbanistica topic. Follow on Instagram account, you will see the stories behind the scenes before and after every episode we record in the podcast. And also don't forget to subscribe the YouTube channel to see the live talks and also to see the vlogs. If you have any feedback or you want to suggest a new topic or nominate a new guest, you can just reach out and write me. You can find me everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and also my email. So feel free to write me and share your thoughts with me. Thank you so much again for listening. I am Mustafa Sharif. Keep up the good work. Keep loving cities.